Why can work feel finished on your laptop while the room around it still says otherwise? You close the final tab, answer one last message, and lower the laptop screen. For a second, there is that satisfying little feeling, done. Then you stand up and notice the charger still glowing beneath the desk. Tomorrow's page is open, the chair faces the screen, and the desk lamp is still on. Nothing dramatic has happened, yet your workday has ended without the room ending with it. That is the strange problem with a home office. The commute may be only 3 steps. And 3 steps are not always enough to make one role feel different from another. A traditional office gives you exits almost accidentally. Corridors, elevators, streets, trains, a front door. At home, you can finish a meeting at 5:58 and be in the kitchen at 6 o'clock. The first issue is not simply that work objects remain visible. It is that the room may offer no clear physical event that means work is over. Think about the difference between leaving a building and merely swiveling your chair. One changes your environment, the other changes your direction by about 90 degrees. If your desk sits in the living room, the problem becomes even more literal. You can move to the sofa while keeping your monitor perfectly framed in the corner of your vision. A dark screen has a shape, a keyboard has a purpose, and the chair still points somewhere. The room keeps the work zone available, even when you are trying to occupy another part of it. What happens when the same square meters must host both concentration and dinner? During the day, the dining table becomes a desk because it is wide and near a socket. At night, the laptop disappears, but the power strip stays wrapped around a table leg. A mouse may sit beside the salt, which is an unexpectedly accurate portrait of remote work. The furniture has not changed, so the room gets little signal that its function has changed. Your body may sit in the same chair for lunch, emails, bills, and an evening conversation. That continuity is useful, but it also removes the little transitions that normally divide one activity from another. The home office also follows you through sightlines. A desk placed directly opposite a bedroom door can become the first thing you see in the morning. Before your feet touch the floor, the monitor is already part of the view. If the desk faces the bed, the arrangement works in reverse at night. You lie down, look across the room, and there is tomorrow waiting in ergonomic form. The furniture is doing nothing wrong. It is simply visible at exactly the wrong moment. Visibility matters because rooms communicate through what they make easy to notice. A closed cabinet asks less attention than a screen, microphone, documents, and cables ready for use. This does not mean every work object needs to disappear behind a perfect wall of cabinetry. The more useful question is whether the work zone can visually reduce itself when the work stops. Sometimes a laptop can close and move into one drawer. Sometimes a monitor can remain, but the chair turns away and the task light goes dark. Sometimes the only boundary available is a curtain, a folding panel, or the closed doors of a secretary desk. The point is not invisibility. It is a change in state. During work, you may need directional desk light, a lit screen, and enough ambient light to focus. After work, leaving the same desk lamp on keeps one small area looking operational. It is the domestic equivalent of a shop forgetting to turn off its open sign. Switch that task light off, and the desk immediately loses some of its authority in the room. A warmer lamp elsewhere can pull the visual center toward reading, dinner, or conversation instead. The architecture has not moved, yet the hierarchy of the room has. Sound creates another boundary, especially when the office is not a separate room. During the day, keyboard taps, call voices, notification sounds, and chair movement define the zone. When those sounds stop, the silence can help, but only if something else takes over. Cooking sounds, music, an open window, or quieter room tone can mark a different period. One person may be finished, while another is still speaking loudly into a headset 2 meters away. The home office has technically closed for half the household, which is not a particularly useful closing policy. Headphones, door position, screen direction, and call locations can determine whether work leaks across the room. Even the route you take after work can strengthen or weaken the transition. If you stand from the desk, and walk directly to another screen, your body barely receives a change of scene. If you pass through the kitchen, balcony, hallway, or entry, the home begins to offer a small sequence. You put away a mug, open a window, change the light, or move the chair back. None of these actions is magical. Together, they make the ending visible. This is where routines become spatial rather than motivational. You are not asking yourself to feel off-duty through willpower alone. You are giving the room a few physical signs that when activity has stopped. Cables are a good example because they quietly keep a workspace prepared. A charger stretched across the floor says the laptop is expected back soon. A dock with every cable connected keeps the desk in permanent readiness. But unplugging everything every evening can become its own tiny administrative department. So the better boundary is often the one you can actually repeat. A cable tray, one charging drawer, or a single power switch can reduce the setup without creating another chore. A stack of documents in active reach feels different from one contained pile placed outside the immediate work surface. Not because paper is emotionally dangerous, but because one arrangement is ready for action. A home office never closes when the room stays prepared for work and unprepared for what comes next. That is the central shift. You do not only end work by stopping the task, you end it by changing the room's readiness. Once you see that, the solution becomes less about making the office prettier. It becomes about designing a believable before and after. During work, the chair faces the desk, the task lamp is on, the tools are within reach, and the screen owns the focal point. After work, perhaps the chair turns, the laptop closes, the light changes, and one surface clears enough to serve another purpose. If the office occupies a spare room, the strongest signal may simply be the door. Closing it is almost comically effective because walls remain excellent at being walls. If there is no door, the boundary may need to be smaller and more deliberate. A shelf can block the direct view from the sofa without enclosing the room. A desk can turn 90 degrees so the screen no longer faces the bed. A folding surface can disappear after use, while a fixed desk can be visually quieted with lighting and orientation. The best adjustment depends on what the room must still do when you are no longer working. That question matters more than whether the desk looks professionally styled. By evening, the goal is not to erase evidence that you have a job. It is to let another version of the room become more convincing. You close the laptop again, but this time the action is followed by a small sequence. The charger goes to one place, the task light clicks off, and the chair no longer faces the screen. You walk away, and the desk remains in the house without remaining in charge of it. The room has not forgotten that work will return tomorrow. It has simply stopped rehearsing tomorrow while you are still living tonight. So when your workday ends, what is the one thing in your home office that still tells the room to stay on duty?